intro.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video and the most requested one in the force feedback build series. In the previous few videos, we are already done with the analog pedals, powerful steering wheel, paddle shifters, analog handbrake, and the gaming rig. So in this video, we'll be showing you how to make a head shifter with simple method. Also, at the end of this video, we'll be mounting the same on our gaming rig. So make sure you watch the complete video till the end. Let's start building it. So the design and the dimensions I'm using in this video is according to my requirements of the rig. If you are building it, you can consider this video as a reference and modify according to your needs. For the base, I'll be using this square wooden block of dimensions 13 x 13 centimeters. I've drilled a hole at the center to mount this spring, which I have taken from a waist umbrella. So this is where the spring is to be mounted using nut, bolt and washer. So this is the steel rod which I have again taken from an waist umbrella. This I'll be using as a gear rod. Next, we have to make a mechanism to move the gear stick left, right and also front back. For that, I have taken this wooden piece of dimensions 11 x 4 centimeters with a hole at the center. Additionally, two more supporting legs on both the sides of length 8 centimeters each. Finally, it's like a inverted U. To mount this complete unit on the base, I'll be using L clamps. So I'll mount these L clamps on either sides using some bolt and nuts. Next, with the help of these clamps and bolt nuts, I'll connect this way. So this is how we should get the movements after mounting. Next, we have to make a lock system for the gear rod at both front and back direction. For this, we have to use cupboard latches. So these are the metallic ones which I thought of using. Since I could not find them. Finally, I decided to go with these plastic ones. All these three will go onto the shifter. I'll be using 3 bolt nuts to mount them. So we are done with the locking mechanism. And this is how it works. This is the one way of making it. There is also a second method using bearings. If you are interested, you can also consider this bearing one instead of mine. Next step is to mount a H frame at the top. Instead of making complete closed block design, I'll simply add 4 threaded bolts on all the 4 corners as a support for the H frame. For this, I have selected this 8 threaded rod and cut into 4 pieces, each of length 18 centimeters. Also, some nut and washers for mounting. So in this way, your design looks better compared to the closed bulk design. In order to make a H frame, I'll be using this wooden sheet of thickness 1.5 centimeters, cutting this into same dimension according to the base, which is 13 cross 13 centimeters. Already in this I have made the H grooves considering the thickness of the gear rod. Here there are 6 slots. In the same way, you can also add one more slot if you require. Now I'll just mount it on the supporting rod using nut and washers. And with this, we are done with the hardware work. This is how it functions. In my case, it's 5+1 gears. So if you want to make 6+1, in the same way you can add one more slot here. Moving further, in order to detect all these gear positions in the game, we need to start with the electronics. I received many comments asking us to make XY shifter which takes analog input to detect the gear positions, either using joystick or potentiometers. Since EMC Lite firmware, which I'm using, doesn't support XY shifter, we have to use the digital inputs. So for that, I'll be using this micro limit switches, 6 pieces for 6 gear positions, which comes with 3 terminals. For our use case, we'll be using only 2 pins, common and NO. For mounting purpose, I'll be cutting off this roller. So this is where we have to place the switches. Approximately, you have to take the measurements so that the switch get pressed once the gear is locked. In this way. So in the same way, I have mounted all the switches at the bottom using hot glue. So after mounting, this is how all your switches should work for every gear position. Now we are only left out with the connections. For easy understanding, I'll be using the circuit diagram or the schematics to explain the connections. This is the official circuit schematic which comes from EMC development. For our head shifter, we have to mainly concentrate on this button matrix. So I'll just zoom it. This firmware supports up to 16 buttons. There is no restriction on the selection of buttons for the head shifter. We can use any of these available buttons. In my case, I'm already using switch 1 and switch 2 for paddle shifters. So for this head shifter project, I'll be using switch 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Total 6 switches as a 5+1 combination. For easy understanding, we have also made this circuit diagram using limit switches with 6+1 combination. So I'll also provide this circuit link in the description box. Considering the same circuit as a reference, I'll do connections for my setup. After making all the soldering work, I have arranged all the wires in this way, and at the end also added this multiple pin connector to make this head shifter plug and play. If you are already following our content, you will be knowing that we have made all the inputs as plug and play. On the controller unit, this is for steering, this for pedals, and this one for handbrake. In the same way, I'll be also adding one more connector which will be for the head shifter. In order to connect both of this, I'll be using the opposite connector with some extended wires. At last, we are left out with one thing, which is the gear knob. So I bought this gear knob for around 200 rupees from online, which I'll leave the link in the description. So finally, this is how our head shifter looks after mounting the gear knob. Now it's time to mount our head shifter on the gaming rig, which is already assembled there. So we decided to place this head shifter at this position, just behind the handbrake. So I'll be using this additional wooden piece as a support on which head shifter will be placed using some bolt and nuts. After mounting it, the rig looks complete, and also I feel the shifts are realistic. Moving on to the software, in our part 3 video of this FFB playlist, we have already shown how to upload the EMC firmware to the Arduino board and also do some configuration on EMC user interface. If you have already done with that, there is no need of additional settings needed, particularly for this head shifter. Right after the connections, the buttons will be automatically detected in the software. Just for confirmation, you can open control panel, view devices and printers. On the EMC, right click and open game controller settings and properties. So here you can see the button activations for every gear position. So this is all about the easy way of making the DIY head shifter. At the end, I'll also keep some demo footage using this with a game. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section below. All the useful links relevant to this tutorial will be provided in the description box. In coming days, we'll be also adding dashboard and the button box. Stay tuned for more updates. Subscribe and also follow us on Instagram. Thank you for watching.